And so then Devin and I are just like, hey, is it time? Is it time? Oh, just like now.
Yeah. I think it's time.
Yes. Awkward intro for the win. Yes. Dev, I missed you, man. I hope you're good. So when this goes to the end, you know that I said that I missed you prior to the beginning. Okay. Hello, PSVG OT fans. I've missed you. I hope you're having a great Christmas because that's actually happening in like 3 hours. So Santa's on his way with reindeers and presents. He might already be flying. I don't actually know how magic works. Okay. From what I've learned, there's stuff with stuff, and then there's stuff that happens. That's all I got for you. Joining me today on a very special Christmas Eve. I think this might be the first PSVG ever Christmas Eve show. So OT has a first. We've got two wonderful guests. I got my boy, Little Ty. Little Ty, how you been, man? I missed you. You doing okay?
Oh, holy crap. Yeah, I missed you, man. I missed you. It's been a while since I've been on the show. And it's late night for me, man. I'm tired, but I'm swinging on some magic Johnson juice over here in the shade of blue.
Yep.
Powerade.
Yep. Hashtag Powerade. And Donnie boy, how are you, my friend?
Merry Christmas, Koopalings. Got the rum for this evening, so.
I don't have that. I've got water somewhere, I think, maybe.
It's a better mature choice.
Yeah, responsible, healthy.
That's what I do. Go me. So I was floating this idea out a couple days ago, and Donnie was like, yeah, sounds great. And
hang on. To better phrase that, I was like, I'm gonna be up anyway. I might as well. It wasn't like let's.
In my mind, as I read it, it was yes, this is a great idea. I love how ingenuitive you are, Coach Bo. I really appreciate your hard work.
I got it. Yes,
sounds like you need a promotion.
Actually, I prefer where I'm at because if I get promoted, they're gonna actually expect me to do stuff on time and regularly.
Oh no,
that's not happening. That's not a thing. Although. Spoilers, we'll talk about later. And but sadly, for some of you guys, Dev has just a lot going on with family, so he won't be on today.
Yeah.
He promised me he'd be back Saturday. He promised. We pinky swore. We Splash Brothered.
Okay.
We Splash Brothered. I actually don't know if Dev likes the Splash Brothers. I kind of hope he doesn't because I'm not a big fan. But we're going to work it out. So this show, all Christmassy. Got some good Christmas stuff. I pulled out 2 Christmas questions that I actually texted kids for about 20 minutes ago. So thank you guys for being up so late. You will get 0 gifts. Santa does not come if you're not in bed by 10, even though you're juniors in high school. So maybe I don't know the rules, guys. I don't have children. But we have good questions. We have a good idea. And so before we go in, have either one of you been prepared for tonight's show?
You mean besides like the notes that I have on the screen right here?
Crap.
No, I got
Someone's prepared. Everything's ruined. We're going to go down in flames. We're going to be like all the other podcasts with like prepared notes and ideas and thoughts.
No, this emergency manager can honestly say I am not prepared.
Yes.
Yeah, never prepared, man. Every time it comes on, it feels like I'm rolling the dice. I don't know what I'm going to get every single time.
Love it. Love it. We are the Vegas of podcasts. Things just happen. All right. So now that we know we're not prepared, now that we know we're ready to go, now that we're ready to do this OT thing, we've said our shout outs. The memory we want to talk about today is one, the Christmas where you had the hardest time hiding a gift, and the Christmas where you had the most work to do. And so the reason I split these up was because these are 2 very different stories for me. So let me share the first one. The Christmas where I had the hardest time hiding the gift. My wife and I, we left Florida because Texas pays their teachers way better. So I just telling you guys now, it was not because it was like, oh, it's a better job, better school. I was at a great school with a great football team, a great basketball program, wonderful kids. We moved because they take care of their teachers in Texas. And so we got here and I was like, man, we got money in our savings account. All of the bills are paid. We're not just rolling the dice and saying, you're going to get paid. You're going to get paid. You're not getting paid. Good luck, student loans. We just got to, we had things we had to do. But everything was paid. There was money in the savings account. And so I went to this place called Pandora. Now, if you guys don't know, this is a magical place that makes wives very happy. and you buy little ornaments that go on a little bracelet, and they never wear it because they're scared they'll lose the ornament thing. So I bought my wife some. And me being me, I was like, oh, hide them in the car. She never goes in there. Well, comes to find out that when you leave jewelry in your vehicle, you're always worried about it. So after like 2 nights of that, I was like, no, this is not a good hiding spot. I should find a new one. So then I decided I'm going to hide it inside of a statue in the game room. Another idea that I thought was foolproof. However, she found the receipt. So this became, this became
the jeans is what gets every man, right?
It wasn't the jeans. See, I left it on the table when I moved it from the car.
That's your fault, coach.
That's on me, I know. So she comes up to the game room and is looking around going, I saw a Pandora receipt. I'm like, no, you didn't, you liar. No, I saw it. Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Where is it? I have no idea. And she proceeded to search this room. And luckily, did not find the statue that had the hiding spot.
Oh, so man, amazing how quickly they can pull out a receipt and it turns into a search warrant.
It was fast, man. Jeez. So she didn't find it. I was able to give it to her on Christmas. It was a good time for both of us. One of my favorite memories. We actually started our own Christmas traditions where we open presents on Christmas Eve. We make lasagna on Christmas Eve. And then we do Christmas Day. We don't cook. We just eat leftover lasagna, watch some football, watch some basketball, call it a day. It's really great. This will be our 3rd year doing it. And the other one, the one where you had the most work. So my buddy Tony has a son named Mateo. And this is 5 years ago when Toys to Life really was hitting its stride. Disney Infinity 1 or 2 was out. Everybody was going bonkers. And he comes to me on the 24th and goes, hey, I forgot to get Mateo these figures. And I go, okay, I really don't know much about them, but which ones are you looking for? All Mateo asked for, he wanted nothing else except for these Disney Infinity figures. So on the 24th, we spent that entire day searching GameStops and Toys R Us and Best Buy. It was the most work I've ever done. Like I literally on the 24th normally do nothing. I barely move. And we spent the whole day looking at these figures. And we finally found the one that Mateo had his eye on. However, it only came with the PS Vita version of Disney Infinity, the Black Spider-Man.
Uh-oh.
So,
oh, man.
I'm like, I have a Vita, so I'll go half with you on this. That wasn't good enough. He was like, I'm just taking the toy, you're getting the game and this. I'm like, I don't want this game for the Vita. I have no interest.
That's a great game in the Vita, man. The Vita.
I'm sorry. Disney Infinity was not made for the Vita, guys. It's not the title we want on the Vita. There's a million other things we'd rather have. So we go back arguing, but I ended up buying half of it and took it with me. And I actually did play it a couple times. But that was the busiest I've ever been. So, Donnie, let's go with you first. What was the hardest thing you ever had to try to hide on Christmas?
My story is definitely not as MacGyver elaborate as yours. So I've got 2 that qualify, and I'll make them quick. The first one was my wife's digital piano. She's a music major. That's what she went to college for, and she still sings on weekends and whatnot. And she's always wanted a digital piano. And one year I found a really sweet deal on one. I ended up getting it for like $550. And it was like the whole thing with the amp and the chords and all of it, like the equalizer, the bench, everything. It was,
the digital one's the flat one, or is it the half one that goes against the wall?
Oh, no, this is that's a good question. I'm not exactly sure. It was here's what I do know. Full key piano. With the marble keys or whatever, like this is a gig piano. This is a professional musician's digital piano. Like it retails like $1,700, and I got it for like $599. So obviously it's hard to hide a piano. Yeah. I mean, it's fairly big. It's in the back seat of your car.
Most pianos are, yeah.
Yeah. So I had it shipped to her. I had it shipped to my office, and then I strapped it to my truck from there and drove it to her parents' house, and then had her parents store it for me. I do all of my Christmas shopping like way in advance. Like I Christmas shop around the year. Anytime a family member or my son or my daughter say they want something, I start putting out deal alerts. And when I find something that's worth striking on, I strike, pounce, then hide it and save it. So like, you know, for me, I'm never in a rush. If anything, my fault is I typically give away all my gifts early. Like my wife received her Christmas present like last week because it came in the mail. Like I'm always like way out in front. But anyway, back to it. The in-laws came. My wife always does church with the kids on Christmas Eve because they, you know, the big candlelight vigil, and she's the singer, right? She's the chorus director and all that. So last year I went. I normally don't go. Last year I went more as a decoy, so her parents could come to the house and set up the digital piano. So when we came home from church that evening, the digital piano was already set up. It was all there. It was nice with a bow on it and all that. And we walked in and got the big surprise. So that's probably like the most effort I've ever had to put in to staging something like that out. The other one, actually, I just found. I bought a gift for my daughter last year, and apparently it had fallen out of the box in the attic. And when I was getting the gifts this year, I found it. So we just rewrapped 3 new Animal Crossing amiibos from last year.
Okay.
That she will get tomorrow morning.
So well played.
The one I probably hid too well because I forgot about
it. You hid it from yourself.
Right.
Makes sense.
My gosh.
Oh man.
So and then the other one's the one that had to work too hard. My father passed away not over Christmas, but not like Christmas Day, but he passed away like the week before Christmas. I also had like my lease at the time in my apartment come up that same week, and the clutch in my car went out. And this was like 6 or 7 years ago, and I'll never forget it because I spent Christmas night, like that day, at my storage locker. I had one of my best friends and work colleagues at the time drove all the way from, let's just a 2-hour drive is how far away he lives from me, to help me unload my U-Haul because of course everybody was busy. Everybody had their own family thing going on, and I had all this stuff going on, and he came all the way out in the middle of the night, and I spent my Christmas night unloading furniture into my storage locker as I prepared to find a new apartment and try to get my car fixed and, you know, continue dealing with all the stuff that comes in with that type of loss. So yeah, it was probably one of the most memorable ones. I remember, like, that was the year Ohio State beat Oregon in the Rose Bowl. So like 2011 or 12 or maybe even 10. It was a while ago, but I'll never forget it because it was just it was a really nice act of friendship that he did. And actually his father just went into the hospital, and it was like the first thing I sent to him as I sent him a text message. I was like, hey, anything you need day or night, man, you were there for me when I needed it. I make sure I'm here for you. I don't care. You just say the word. I don't care. I'll feed your whole family. Like whatever you need. Just put up the flag. So.
It's a good. All right. Ty, bring us back, man.
Sorry.
No, I'm like, man.
Oh, man.
I need to call my brother. I need to make a phone call right quick. I just need to make sure the people are okay.
Oh.
I mean, unfortunately, I've been having a relatively easy setup in terms of getting my family what they want, and especially in the household without them knowing. Because most of the time, as a truck driver, I would just buy the package and then I just keep it in the semi truck up until Christmas Day.
Yeah, that's nice. Easy. You're rolling cargo.
No kidding. I guess I could give you a story about the time where my grandma tried hiding presents for me when I lived with her, and it didn't work out too well. You know, I think maybe sophomore year of high school, we got a 1-floor house. I lived in the basement, was furnished out and all that stuff. Christmas comes around. Of course, she wants to make sure I have a good Christmas, so she buys a bunch of presents. And of course, being the snotty little brat teenager I was, you know, she'd go out to work one day, and then, you know, I'd come home from school. I'm like, man, I wonder where those presents are. I want to shake them up, test them out, see if there's some Game Boy Advance games or something going on. And so I did the ultimate no. I snuck into her bedroom. Like, not even her cats are allowed into her bedroom. That's how like much of a forbidden place it is. I mean, she had a waterbed. It's understandable. But anyways, I knew the number one spot she would be hiding her presents was either in her closet or behind her waterbed. And I was like, well, I checked behind the waterbed. I don't see anything. I check her closet. I see a cardboard box up in the top cupboard. I was like, there it is. That is the mother load. I found it. I pull it down. I look at it. And that is how I discovered my grandmother keeps over 2-3 dozen adult film VCR tapes. And I really goofed up bad on that one. I goofed up so bad. I never did find those presents. Like, I didn't know what they were at first, and since I was a sheltered kid. And so I popped one in, saw it, panicked, called my best friend over. He saw it, panicked. My grandmother came home, and I had him sneak it out, the VCR tape, to hide under his car seat for almost a year and a half. We discovered it a year and a half later. My grandmother never knew. And that's my story about,
That took a minute for it to hit me and like sink in. Like I was sitting there, I took it a stride. I was like, "Yeah, wait a minute, did he just say? He did just say what I think he said."
I did, man. I did.
All right, so that happened.
In terms of hardest Christmases, I guess. And another story. I'm a truck driver.
Work for Christmas.
I don't know, I guess I can't really follow to the letter of the law of the question. I guess. The hardest Christmas I had to do was I had to work until about 5 o'clock in the morning on Christmas Day just so I could get home to spend time with my family. But then I had to leave at 6 p.m. that same day to go continue being a truck driver. I had to deliver to Walmart. And it was just rough, man. Just going home, being told I had 3-4 hours of sleep, spend time with my family as best I can, and then take off all within a reasonable time.
One of our listeners chimed in earlier this morning. They said they were doing the same. I've been tweeting out all day asking for Christmas stuff. And there's somebody who was like, I'm working all night so I can be home by 6.
Yep.
And I'm like, it's just enough time to get there before everybody wakes up.
It does stink because when I did get to that store that day, which was at midnight, the manager in charge of the store never showed up. They said, screw it. I was thinking, I was going to celebrate Christmas at my house. I wasn't commit. So I was very grumpy that Christmas Eve, and I decided I was never going to do that again. And I never had to. So I'm very glad with myself.
Good.
I've only ever had one job that tried to make me work late into Christmas. And it was when I was in high school.
That's, as I say, that's typically the case. Like when you're like in service or something.
I was working at it was like Taco John's. It was like a little taco place. And they were like, well,
these tacos are going to make themselves on New Year and Christmas.
This is the busiest time of year for the mall, so we have to stay open as long as the mall's open. The mall was open until 10. And they're like, and then, it's going to be an hour and a half cleanup, but we want you to make sure everything's ready because we're going to be closed for an entire day.
Sure.
And so I was like, guys, like my whole family is leaving to go up to the mountains to go camping. If I don't get out of here by 8, I can't go. And then I'm stuck here for Christmas. I'm not trying to be stuck in Portland doing nothing. I'm sorry. And so I just quit. I quit. Thank you for your time. It was great seeing you guys.
Isn't it nice when you feel like you have that luxury? I bring it up because of you. When I worked at GameStop, I did the same thing. Like when I reached like my fed up point with GameStop, I was like, well, I'm not gonna do this anymore. And I just took off my little lanyard. I was like, thanks guys, and I just left. I was like, it's really nice when you just feel that when you don't need it as much as they might think you do.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, well, I'm done here. See you guys.
I almost got to that point with them today.
Oh no.
Yeah, I almost got to that point today. And that's again, I have over 2.5 million Power Force points lifetime. Oh, wow. And I almost was like, I'm done with you guys. Like I'm going straight to Best Buy and Amazon for everything from now on. But I'm pretty sure they're gonna fix it. So
stay tuned.
But we'll see. All right, man. So we had some stories. They were sad and they were scary, but they were stories.
They were stories.
Oh,
informative.
It brings out the best of things. I hope.
Still doesn't know if that helps him.
Well, if she listens to OT, then she's gonna know.
I'll recommend it to her and I'll let her piece it together. Her secret's safe with me, besides the other people that I keep telling it to, but details.
Except for all these people that I tell. So we only have 2 questions today. That again, I got a little while ago from a couple of our students. And so I texted our buddy Jay. Jay listens. He doesn't always have questions, but me and him were already talking about basketball practice. So we have basketball on the 26th. And so the question Jay poses is, what is the one Christmas present that you knew the moment you opened it, you were going to return it? So we'll go to Donnie first. Has there ever been a gift that the moment you opened it, you were like, yep, I know where you're going, back to the store?
There's been plenty. I didn't take the whole gift back to the store. I'm sorry. I was going in a different approach. It's kind of the same. I mentioned my dad earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So I told the story on the podcast before. I don't want to go too far, but I was more or less foster child. I had foster family, lived with for a while. Met my dad when I was 15. So we kind of had like this, shotgun wedding of a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
When the PlayStation 2 came out, I was spending a week with him at the time, and it's what I asked for Christmas. It's what I wanted, and he came through. I guess at the time he had like a girlfriend that worked at Walmart, so she stashed one away, and I kind of thought I was gonna have one. Like I was like, I think he's gonna get it for me. It's gonna be amazing. It's like the best Christmas I ever had. I never got launch day consoles until I bought them myself. Like that never happened. I was always behind buying used stuff. So Christmas morning rolls around, and I get up, and again, like at the time, this is way before even he and I like really met each other. At the time, this is like all court ordered. Like I was there for like 4 days. Like it's honestly, it's like you're just kind of living with like an uncle or something. It's like this person you've never really known. And I walk out, and I'm expecting like tree and presents and everything. And to his credit, he's a new dad, so he didn't really know where everything goes. On the fireplace, with no tree and no wrapping and no lights or like any pageantry at all, was just the box with a PlayStation 2.
Hey, that's all you need, man. That's all you need.
Not wrapped.
Comes with home festivity.
Nothing. And do I care? No. It's exactly the thing I wanted, and I was super excited. I ran to it anyway, but to this day, I still will never forget like walking out and seeing no decorations at all and just a box like on a fireplace.
Okay.
And then I get the words that every boy wants to hear when he gets his Christmas present. That cost a lot of money, so I hope you like it.
Okay, yes.
I installed the patches on it already.
Yeah. Yes. How many people have to deal with that this weekend?
Oh man,
many.
Twitter's gonna be flooded with it. The part that made me not go back and return it, but the part that makes it qualify was he also didn't buy any games, and it didn't come with one. So I unwrapped it after all of the lackluster fanfare build up and everything. I go hook it up, and I was like, game? He was like, that thing doesn't have games on it. It costs so much money. Like, no, there's no games.
Oh gosh.
I watched like a DVD all day. And then we finally went and got one.
We now learned that Donnie was the OG stared at the box. He has
stare at it in the box. That's what
he's got to lock down. That's good stuff right there.
The most bittersweet, like great gift, but just all done wrong.
You gotta wait though. Ty, how about you? Gift the moment you got it, you knew you were returning it.
On a side note to Donnie's story, I almost had the same thing happen with me with the Wii, but I did have Wii Sports, but for like 2 weeks, I played nothing but Wii Sports while trying to save up money to get Twilight Princess.
I can play Wii Sports for 2 weeks.
I can play Wii Sports.
Heck yeah, I hid in my basement. I was like, I'm going to get fit by playing Wii Sports boxing. I turned into a boxing champion, started fighting against, Nintendo developers. How pro I got. But I also want to admit, I don't think I've ever returned a gift that I gotten for Christmas, unless it was, for example, like a shirt or something that was just too small for me.
Mm-hmm.
But if there was a time where if I got a moment where it was like that, but I was too young to simply say, Mom, I need to go to Walmart and return your gift your gift because it was too bad for me. All right, let me start the premise over. I was about 8 years old, maybe 10. Christmas comes around. She's like, Tyler, since you've been so good, and she looks at her boyfriend at the time, I'm gonna let you open one present early. I'm gonna let you pick any present you want. And she looked at me. She's like, do you want to pick up this big one? I'm like, no, because I know back in the day, the smaller the presents was, the better. Especially because video games don't come in shoe boxes. I had the consoles I needed. And so I picked, this nice little rectangular one that looked exactly like a Game Boy Color case. Open it up. It's Pokemon Gold. Holy crap. I was thrilled for days. Oh my gosh. 2 weeks of playing Pokemon Gold. I was thrilled. All right, so we're gonna speed a little bit forward. Come towards Christmas. I got all these other presents going on. I see another Game Boy Color shaped box. I'm like, yes, another one. Give me Link's Awakening or something. I don't care. Give me something. I get to rip it open. Pokemon Silver. Look at my mom. It's like, Mama. And she's like, I love you so much. I don't know which one to choose. So I bought you both. And it's like, I didn't know what to tell her. I was like,
that is the sweetest mom ever. You tell her you love that lady and you buy her cookies. I love you. I didn't know which one to get. So you got both.
Those are the same game, right?
Yeah, same game, different version, essentially.
Okay. Okay.
So
I just wanted to make sure, like, I was like keeping this in my head, like, wait.
It's the only thing I could do on it was essentially capture Lugia, which I learned later. You can capture Lugia on Gold anyways later in the game, but I captured Lugia to transfer over, and then I never touched Pokemon Silver again.
Yeah, and those are more the same than even like Sun and Moon are today. Like those were basically identical.
Oh yeah.
I bought a 3DS XL again just to play Moon.
Yes.
I own 0 other games, but I bought that Samus one just so that I could play Moon.
You got the Samus one?
Yep.
I almost double dipped for that one. I know a lot of people were hating on it. I think that's
I think it looks really good. The only reason I did it was GameStop had it on sale for $175.
I saw that.
So I was like, yeah, okay. That's fine. I really
a good ornament, like to put on the shelf or anything, just anytime.
Yeah. It was for one game. Because, like, here's the thing, like, Pokemon Go is fine, and I really don't play it as much anymore.
Yeah.
But I miss the whole battling thing. And that's how come, like, I was, like, frantically trying to find my ID, because I thought maybe my Pokemon were attached to that. I realize now they're saved to the game.
To the cart. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I just start over.
Unless you bought the Pokemon Bank app and transferred them to there.
I have no idea what that is, so no. Yeah. That's not a thing
for me. You should look it up, and there's a solution for you to cloud store your Pokemon.
I'm going to have to. And so for me, anytime somebody hands me a shoebox, I know that's getting returned. And the reason why is it's twofold. I have more shoes than my wife. I'm a sneakerhead. I have no problem with that. I rock mostly Nike and Jordan gear, and I'm, again, no problem with it. However, I wear a size 17, and this is not your generic 17. This is a 17 wide. So that means if there are 16s I can wear, that sometimes the Jordan brands are a little big, but most of the time I need a 17, or if it's on the smaller end, an 18.
Wow, man. At Walmart, they don't go anything above 13. I'm 14 wide, so I can only imagine what you do.
It's a tough life. And
you got to contact some place and go, I need it made.
It's been this way since I was 14. So it was always the funny joke would be like, oh, yeah, I got you shoes. I know how much you love them. Then I start laughing. I go, yeah, I can't wait to take these back.
Because a big toe.
I can't wear a 15. So anytime I see shoes, I just know it. And our second question comes from our girl Shy. Again, it was one of those where I was like, hey, yes, we have practice coming up on the 26th. Do you have time to throw a question out to me? She said, yes, I got a great one. I'm like, can it be Christmas themed? She didn't respond for 4 hours. So either it took her that long to think of an idea if it was Christmas one, or she was ignoring Coach. Either way, I'm okay with it. So here's Shy's question. What is your favorite video game Christmas story? Okay, kiddo. So let's start off. Ty, your favorite video game Christmas story?
Well, I mean, to be fair, I kind of just, said it on the last question.
Yeah, okay.
We're talking about getting both Pokemon Gold and Silver.
Dominating the gold for 2 weeks straight?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I guess the next best thing was when I was living with my father in Indiana. We're going to fast forward to about 12, 13 years old. I'm trying to figure out exactly what happened. I had bought a Nintendo 64. I was given one, but I didn't have the video adapter cord for it, and no controllers. I had one controller, and the only game I had was a stolen copy of Majora's Mask, which was not going to do me any good in any case because I need an expansion pack. But anyways, I finally get the video cord, plug it in, and then I had, I could rent games and all that stuff, but they never had my favorite game that I always wanted to play since I saw my friend playing it a long time ago, looking through his screen door in the back of a house. which if you guys remember, my first experience with Zelda was Ocarina of Time after looking through the backyard door of somebody's house. But I told my dad that. I told him I really want Ocarina of Time. And by maybe sheer dumb luck, he sees it around Christmas time at a pawn shop for $10. He buys it. He thought I got in trouble with my uncle or something, but it turned out that my uncle was at fault. And he was like, look, I was going to spank you, but I realized that, he was the one at fault there. It's not your fault. I'm going to give you this Christmas gift early. Here you go. Hands me Ocarina of Time. Like, he had been accompanied by at least maybe a minimum of 4 angels just singing, like, playing their harps and stuff. And I'm hearing music like that didn't exist because he handed me Ocarina of Time, the game I've been waiting for this entire time. I was just so thrilled and excited. I was like, I didn't understand what was going on. I was in shock. I was given a Nintendo 64 game that I couldn't play because I was like 10 miles away from my house. I was like, we got to go home now. And I think that was probably the closest thing to a good, Christmas memory that I had.
Gotcha. All right, Don, how about you, bud?
So I mentioned earlier, I typically hand out presents early. My kids' big Christmas gift this year, actually, they got almost a month ago. I took them to see a WWE show in Alabama. So we took like a whole weekend off together, and we went and saw the wrestling show.
Before you go any farther, have you ever RKO'd your kid?
Oh, dude, that's like a daily occurrence.
Okay. Because I did it to my dog, and we both it turned into a brawl. It was hilarious. It was really funny. Like, it was just one of those moments where I was like, okay. Then Bear was going all crazy, and it was a good time. But sorry,
son. What's going on now? This is over my head. This WWE slang.
Yeah, it's a diamond cutter.
Oh.
90s reference, bring you back.
Oh.
There you go. Okay. So the RKO is the diamond cutter, but Randy Orton does it better. So it's taken on a new life. Especially like in memes and gifts. But yes, my son is all about the wrestling. So we bought tickets. We went to a wrestling show. They got to see stuff. We bought stuff. Yeah. But yeah, I beat up my kid every day. Like we fight each other constantly.
Love it.
Training purposes. I respect that.
There we go. In 2012, I did something similar. And it is my favorite GameStop story to tell. November 18th, 2012, I took my daughter to GameStop to get her Christmas present that year. And that was the Wii U. That was the day that the Wii U launched. The Wii U, so 2012, my daughter's roughly 6. My son is like just here. Like he just arrived. This is her first video game. Like, she had seen me play video games, but we're talking 360. I'm playing NCAA, PS3. Yeah. I'm playing The Last of Us. She's never been included. The Wii U, she watched E3 with me. She saw it. She saw Nintendo Land. Her eyes lit up. She saw things that are appealing to her. Like, she was way into it. I saved all summer to buy one. I talked to my GameStop manager. I think I pre-ordered one the day after E3. I went there and was like, all right, here's $100. And like every paycheck I would come in and I would drop, $20, $30 on it. So when the day rolls around, we're super excited. Now, having been a veteran of launches, I remembered the Wii at the time. And I was like, oh my God, we have to get there early. Like, they're going to midnight launch it. And he's like, we're not doing a midnight launch. I was like, oh, really? Oh, that's cool. Well, we got to get there early. So I took my daughter out of school. I think it was Thursday or Friday. She played hooky. I took her to IHOP. I'm
so proud of you.
We got French toast and everything she could want. I remember I took pictures of it and everything. We're celebrating the hashtag Wii U. We're ready to go get in line. We're going to be there 2 hours early. GameStop opened at 12. We were going to be there at 10. We get there at 10. There's nobody in sight. There's no cars in the parking lot. There's nobody here. We wait until like 11. Still nobody's there. There's nobody here at all. It is an empty wasteland. And I'm like, maybe they didn't get many. Maybe like I don't know what I don't know what's going on. So I text my manager and I'm like, hey, we know you guys open at 11, but there's like nobody here. And he's like, are you here? And I was like, yeah, I took my daughter out of school. Like, we're out in the parking lot. We're waiting. We thought there'd be like a line. He's like, no. He's like, but come up to the door. We'll let you in. And I was like, are you serious? Like, you don't open until 12. He's like, no. Don't worry about it. We'll let you in. Because I've been telling him, like, me and this GameStop manager are really close. Like, I used to stop in every day, almost at least 2 or 3 times a week, just to talk shop. You know, like it was a big part of me wanting to do a podcast in the first place. It's just because I missed that friendship and that camaraderie. And I walk up to the door and the gates raise, and he opens the door and he opens it early and he looks at my daughter. And I mean, you guys remember, she's 6. Like, this is the world to her. She feels like a princess. Like, you know, like she's like, what's going on? They're opening early just for me. He's like, we heard you wanted a Wii U for Christmas. She's like, oh my God, I can't wait to play it. He's like, we've got your Wii U. And he like had prepared like the promotional signs. Like we have like this we still have it. It's in her room. We have like this 10-foot by 3-foot Wii U banner that Nintendo used to hang like in the middle of the store. And we have all these Mario cardboard cutouts and stuff that they had, and Nintendo Land signs. He had all kinds of stuff wrapped up for her. Lanyards, stuffed animals like Pikachus and things like that. He had like this little welcome to video game party welcome, you know, care package like he kind of put together for her. And he walks up to the counter and he pulls out the Wii U and he's like, it's your first system. And he took a picture and he's like, we're going to hang it on the wall. And it just made her day, really made her year. Like to this day, I mean, guys, we're talking it's 2012 or it's 2017 now. We're almost 2018. To this day, when we go to GameStop, she tells me she misses our old GameStop because we've moved since. She's like, I miss our old GameStop. Like it has resonated with her forever. I mean, it didn't happen Christmas Day, but that was her Christmas present. And I can't not share that experience. It was great. Like they earned a fan forever that day.
Holy crap, you put a tear in my eye, man. That was magical.
I remember how I got my Wii U. I walked in trying to pick up Madden. And I said, what's that?
What is that?
It was the you remember that Zelda one they had?
Oh, that was a good one. Yeah, I love that.
And I was like, what's that? He goes, oh, it's the new Wii U. I'm like, can I have that one? He goes, sure. So I brought it home, and Lacey's like, what's this? I'm like, I don't know. I think it's like a Wii.
I kind of had a similar situation with the Wii U because I had a PS3 and a Wii at the time, and I was like, I don't want the Wii. What is that? Like a kind of like an extended version of the Wii. I was one of the victims, despite being such a video game, you know, enthusiast, that I thought the Wii U was just like some super upgraded version of the Wii for almost 2 years. I kid you not. Yeah.
I've always wondered if there's people out there like that.
Yeah, I was one of them. So my best friend, he was in the army at the time. He comes up, he's like, Tyler, I'm going to be deployed over in Afghanistan. I want you to hold on to this. And I was like, no, thanks, man. I got a Wii. And he's like, no, this is a Wii U. You must understand. You can play zombie. He gave me the controller. He's like, you can play in the gamepad. I'm like, okay, fine. I'll hold on to it. Gathered dust for about 14 months. And then, I think Wind Waker HD came out, and I was like, oh, I can put those to use. And then, Pikmin 3 and all that stuff. But it was still his. I was holding on to it. I'm like, oh, crap. What was the breaking point when I finally owned officially a Wii U was when Hyrule Warriors came out. And when me and my fiance had dropped almost 150 hours into the game, we're like, I tried Googling it. I don't think we can transfer a save file if we buy a new one. And so he finally comes back overseas and is like, where's my Wii? And I was like, you don't own one. He was like, $250, buddy. I'll buy you a new one. It still has
a new one.
I did. I told him, it's like, I'll buy it for you brand new. I need to keep yours. I'm sorry. I upgraded Sheik like a mofo.
Nice.
All right. The only one that I could really think of when I got the question was when I was in college, nobody would play games with me. And it was because the only games I would play were the ones that like I was very good at. So like Risk. Risk became a game that nobody wanted to play with me because like I would win. I would out strategize you and I would find a way. And I did it literally over the course of a couple months. I beat people starting in every different continent. So I won one from Australia, which is the easy one, from Africa, from Europe, from Asia, Asia is actually much easier if you can plan it out right. It's a pretty easy continent to scoop in once you've done the work. But Madden was the one nobody wanted to play with me. None of my teammates, nobody.
Really?
So we got weird. So we end up getting this quarterback who is young. I'm not going to use his name because me and him, I don't want to be rude. I didn't ask him. And so he's like, I heard you're pretty good at Madden, big guy. It's like, yeah, I'm pretty good. He's like, you want to play? And I'm like, no. He's like, oh, you scared to play me? Nah, you can ask everybody. Pretty good. I like to actually play like when we're doing tournaments, or otherwise I like to play just my franchise. This dude keeps this going for about 2 weeks of just constant, hey, you want to play? Hey, you want to play? And so finally I'm like, fine. And he goes, who are you going to be? I'm like, the Bears. And he goes, oh, they're the worst. I'm like, they're my favorite team.
So beat the Browns today, didn't they?
I was so proud we just won a game. I was like, we won one.
Just won the game. Made you guys look like Super Bowl contenders.
So, so he now he's insulting my Bears, which that's where my hot button is. Like, you can mess with me, it doesn't bother me at all. You can call me names, doesn't affect me. You talk about the Bears, the only
Bears.
The only constant source of love that I've ever had in my life. Now we have a problem. Like, now we have a situation on our hands. So I proceed to play him with my Bears, and he played whoever the hot team was. This is back in like 2013, 2012 maybe.
The Patriots.
Might have been. No, wait, this is way longer than that. That was when we went back for a reunion. This was like 2008.
The Eagles.
Yeah. So I proceed to not only beat the tar out of him, but I proceed to have a 100-yard rushing game with Rex Grossman. Not only am I throwing the ball all over the field, but I am trouncing him with Rex. And I run a touchdown with Rex Grossman. I go, do you understand that his speed's like a 44? And you get that, right? And so the game ends. It's a blowout. It's like 70-something-0. And I go, do you understand why I told you? Like, this is the one thing I know how to do. He never messed with me again. He never has to play. I remember we did a Madden tournament. There was one at the GameStop down by our college, and I'd won it 4 years in a row. And so he was about to enter, and he saw me. He was like, I'm good.
I'm gonna go to the next
store. I have no interest in playing in this. And it was just one of those funny things. Like, I just had a blast. But yeah, that was the one that happened over Christmas break when he did that. And so I remember that forever, because my wife was just like, he's never coming over again, is he? I'm like, no, he's not.
Oh, Rexy. That's great.
So good time though. Really enjoyed it. That's all we had. We had a short show talking about some holiday stuff, throwing out some love there. So real quick, Donnie, Christmas tradition that you're about to do tomorrow that you want the whole world to know how great it is.
Yeah, I'm terrible at traditions. I'm typically like the anti-tradition. Like, my tradition is to destroy the traditions.
Beautiful.
Like, I hate the elf on the shelf and all that, but we do a big breakfast every year. We always have gravy, pancakes, eggs, bacon, sausage. I don't want to take too long, but my mother-in-law, my in-laws just bought their retirement cabins, like their home away from home. Mm-hmm. And I've been making my mother-in-law just so angry all year, because like she has this vision that we're all going to wake up in all of our PJs, everybody at the cabin, and we're all going to open up Christmas presents under this one big tree. And when she was telling us about it, I was like, that's not going to happen. She's like, what are you talking about? It's like, I have Christmas in my home. These are my kids. Like, you had your kids, you got your Christmas. This is my kids. This is my Christmas. Like, why do we have a tree if we're not going to open up presents at my house? Like, I want to wake up to my home and open up my presents, and then we'll get there, right? I didn't say I wouldn't come. We're going.
Yeah.
We'll be there at lunch. Like, chill. We'll be there at lunch. I got to do presents and all that. I can't be waking up at 6 a.m. in some other person's house. Like, why would I even have a tree or decorations? I might as well just throw that stuff away.
So if I wake up at 6 a.m. somebody else's house, means I drank too much.
There you go. No, so it's been a long, pleasant debate, but a debate that's been going on. I've been talking to my boss about it. Like, I've heard both sides. Everybody's like, well, you should do whatever she wants, and then other people are like, no, it's your Christmas. Like, to me, it's a little. I hate to sound like Griswold or traditional, but to me, it means something. I didn't have a whole lot of Christmases where I woke up the tree and the family and everybody, like, in my own home. So to me, like, it kind of means a lot. Like, I don't know. It doesn't mean, I could do it, sure, and it'd be fine.
Now, who is this with you and who?
My mother-in-law, my mother-in-law. Wife's mother.
I got a very nice solution for you here. Settle this like the final scene of Air Bud. You put your kids in the middle of the field, put your side with your Christmas gift, and your mother-in-law with her Christmas gift, and then you try to come
I'll lose.
Oh crap!
They just bought a retirement cabin, Tyler. They have an extra home to go to.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Pull our family photos out now. So we're family, right? You love me.
That's right. I would lose.
Ty, any last minute Christmas traditions you want to share with everybody?
Heck yeah, sleeping until at least 9-10 o'clock. Hashtag no kids, baby.
Oh man, you two got it made.
Love it. Here's the thing: I actually wake up early on Christmas to make the because I make the turkey.
I thought you said you don't cook on Christmas.
Yeah, no kidding.
The only thing we've done is the turkey. But this year we've decided to make a small chicken because like we don't have anybody coming over.
Oh, okay.
And an egg?
So, no, it's like you know what I mean? Like, oh, I get your joke. I'm like,
no, not like an egg, Tyler. It's like, like a chicken.
It's still a chicken, but a hatched chicken.
I'm sorry.
Who has gone through life and death the right way, I guess. I don't know. But yeah,
that goes through life and death. Life when it comes out and turns into an omelet.
Oh. This is a deep conversation we don't need to have right now. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Oh ho ho.
All right. And that's game over. Later, folks.